This is a fictional faith-based story shared for inspiration. In a quiet countryside village, where narrow dirt paths curve between small homes and wide fields that sway in the wind, lived an old woman named Mari. She walked slowly and spoke softly, yet her presence carried a steady warmth that people remembered long after they left. Her house was small, with simple wooden walls and a plain roof, but the moment someone stepped inside, the space felt calm. Mari believed God is near wherever kindness is practiced, so she made sure kindness never ran out in her home. She greeted neighbors with gentle words, shared what little she had, and treated every visitor as if they mattered. Even on ordinary days, her life moved with quiet purpose, as though love itself was part of her daily routine. And in that still place, her story begins. Not long ago, Mari's home was filled with sound. Her husband was strong and cheerful, a man who laughed easily and worked the land with joy. Their son, Oliver, was curious and full of energy, always asking questions about the world and about God. They shared simple meals at a small table, prayed before sleep, and thanked God not for luxury, but for enough. Then, one winter, sickness came quietly. Day by day, her husband grew weaker, and Mari stayed beside him through long nights, holding his hand and whispering the prayers she learned as a child. Some nights she begged for healing, other nights she only asked for closeness. When he passed away one early morning, the house felt suddenly too large, too still. Mari wept alone and questioned why love could hurt so deeply. Yet even in the silence, she felt a gentle presence that did not leave. If you have ever felt this kind of quiet pain, stay with this story and subscribe for more. After her husband's passing, time moved differently. Mari's body grew slower, her hands trembled more often, and her back bent under years of work. Still, she began each morning the same way. Before sunrise, she washed her face, lit a small lamp, folded her hands, and thanked God for the day in front of her. She believed strength is not given for the whole future, only for the next step. As Oliver grew older, he left the village to find work in the city. At first, he returned often, bringing stories that filled the house with life again. But weeks became months, and visits became rare. Mari learned to eat her evening meals alone. She learned the sound of wind pressing against the walls at night. Some evenings, loneliness sat heavy on her chest, and she whispered questions into the dark. Yet she never asked God to remove loneliness. She asked to be useful. So she kept cooking simple food, tending her garden, and sharing what she could. Children passing by stopped at her gate, and Mari welcomed them with bread, fruit, and gentle stories. She listened to their small worries with patience, believing every heart matters. Even a thin old dog began waiting near her door, and she would stroke its head and whisper that love always finds its way to those who need it. Days turned into seasons, and Mari's quiet acts of care became part of the village without her ever announcing them. Some neighbors wondered why she kept giving when she lived alone, but Mari only smiled and said that loneliness is not empty when God is near. She did not speak with pride. She spoke with calm certainty, as if she had learned to hear hope in the silence. One summer evening, Oliver returned from the city looking tired and restless. He watched his mother move slowly across the kitchen, still cooking, still serving, still offering what little strength she had left. Confused, he asked her why she worked so hard. "People will forget you," he said. "You should rest." Mari looked at him with gentle eyes and answered that as long as she could give love, she was not alone. Oliver did not understand. To him, a full life meant crowds and noise, not quiet service. That same night, a poor traveler knocked at the door, asking for food. Mari welcomed him without hesitation and shared what she had. Before leaving, the traveler offered a simple blessing, wishing that her kindness would return to her when her strength was gone. Oliver heard the words, but he did not yet feel their meaning. Months passed, and Mari's health weakened. Her steps grew shorter, and her nights grew longer. Then, one winter, she became seriously ill and could no longer stand to cook or even rise from bed. News traveled quickly through the village, and that is when something unexpected happened. People came from every direction. Women brought soup and warm cloths. Children sat beside her bed, fanning her gently and holding her hand. Men stood outside her home, praying quietly in the cold air. The little house that once felt silent became filled with care. Mari lay there listening to the sounds of kindness moving through her rooms, and she realized that none of her love had been wasted. When Oliver rushed back and saw the house full of people, his heart finally opened. He sat beside her mother and wept, telling her she was never alone. Mari smiled weakly and whispered that God never takes love away. He only moves it from one heart to another until it returns when it is needed most. After Mari recovered, Oliver begged her to move to the city with him. He was afraid of losing her, but Mari prayed and felt a calm answer in her heart. She agreed, believing God was guiding her into a new season. The city was busy and loud, and some days she felt lonely even among crowds. Then Oliver brought her to a home for orphaned children and asked if she would help. The moment Mari stepped inside, her eyes filled with tears. She began cooking warm meals, telling gentle stories, and praying softly beside small beds. When children cried, she held them until they felt safe. Soon, they stopped calling her Mari and started calling her Grandma Mari. Years later, when she passed away peacefully, many gathered to honor her: children, neighbors, and strangers whose lives she touched. This is a fictional faith-based story, but its lesson is real. Loneliness can remove noise so love can grow wider. If you feel lonely today, ask how you can give. Comment your thoughts and like, share, and subscribe for more stories.